My dear students, in the previous class we discussed related to constructors. That is, we discussed definition of constructor, declaration of constructor, characteristics of constructor, right? What are the characteristics of constructor? Constructor name must be same as class name. Constructor must be declared in a public section. Even though constructor is one of the member function of a class, even though it doesn't has any return type specifier, like that we listed some 5-6 points related to constructor, right? Now in this class we are going to use the concept of constructor in C++ programming. Means how to use a constructor concept in C++ programming. That thing we are going to discuss in this class. Let us see first program. That is a program to demonstrate how to use a constructor in a C++, right? What is the program? Write a C++ program to demonstrate the use of constructor. Means what is the definition of constructor? Constructor is a special member function of a class which is automatically executed when an object is created, right? So now I am going to introduce constructor concept in C++ program, and in a constructor is nothing but one of the member function of a class, right? So in that function, in that constructor function, I am going to write one cout statement, and that function is executed. What is the definition? That constructor means that constructor function is executed automatically when an object is created. Means now let us see how that whether that constructor is executed or not automatically without calling it. That function is executed means that is a constructor, right? See here, now I am going to write on C++ program. That is a program. That is a program that includes a constructor function in a class, and that is executed automatically when an object is created without calling it, right? See here, I am going to write one program. #include iostream.h, right? #include conio.h, right? These are the header files, right? Why we need iostream.h? To include cout, cin statements. Why conio.h is used? Because we are using clear screen function, get function in our program, right? To work those function purpose, we are using conio.h. These are the common header files. Almost all every programs include these files, right? Now take class. Okay, I am taking class name as XYZ. When I am taking class name as XYZ and I am using a special function, that is I am using a constructor concept in a C++, means the constructor name, the constructor function, constructor means it is a function, right? That function name is also same as class name. Means if I am introducing a constructor means the name of the constructor is same as class name. Means now I have to use a function named as XYZ, right? See here, class, right? Okay, here our aim is to implement a constructor, right? That's why I am taking the same name as constructor. Before declaring a constructor, what I have to do? Constructor must be declared in public section. That's why public. Now take the constructor name same as class name. Therefore x, y, z, open bracket, closed bracket. This open bracket, closed bracket indicates what? Function. It is there in the class, therefore it is a member function. Its name is same as class name, therefore it is a constructor. Constructor, right? So it is a member function, therefore I am going to write here function related things. Here we have to execute, we have to check whether this xyz function constructor is executed automatically when an object is created. How to check it? Just write on cout statement in this function, in this constructor, and declare object, close the program, just simply run it. Then this constructor content is displayed, means this constructor is automatically executed when an object is created, right? Very interesting. See here, see out. What sentence I am going to write here means, so this is a class with constructor, right? Therefore I am going to write on statement, this is a class with constructor, right? With constructor. Close the constructor and close the class. Class closing is done with semicolon, right? Now I am going to write void main function, open flower bracket. What is the first step in a main function? Object declaration, right? Therefore class name xyz space obj as object, right? This is what? Object declaration. Object declaration. So now object is declared. So our aim is to print this statement. Usually execute or invoke any function purpose we are using in the main program object dot that particular member function. But here I am not using object dot this xyz function. Just I am closing the main function without calling that member function. It is automatically executed because here object is declared. Means if this sentence is printing, means this is a constructor. See here, I am declared object and I am writing one clear screen and writing get function, and I am closing the class, closing the main function, right? Then what happens? See here, just I am going to explain the program. This is a simple main program. One side main program is main function is there, another side xyz class is there, right? This xyz class contains constructor. This xyz class contain constructor, right? So program execution starts from a main function. Here next up object declaration is there, right? What is the definition of constructor? Constructor is a special member function of a class which is declared in the public section and it is automatically executed when an object is declared. So here object is declared, right? I am not calling this constructor using object dot xyz. Just I declared here object, then this constructor is automatically executed. So just a declared object, clear screen, get function, close the main function. Whenever the cursor comes here, XYZ object declaration is there. Therefore, automatically this constructor is executed without calling this member function, this constructor, it is automatically executed because we declared object. So what happens? Cursor comes here. Here in this XYZ function, one cout statement is there, right? One cout statement is there. So that is printing. What is there? This is a class with the constructor. You can write anything in the cout statement. This is a class with the constructor concept. So when this statement is printing, means what we can conclude or what we can decide? Constructor function is executed automatically when an object is declared for the class. It's very interesting. Try it, right? So without calling that class member function, that is without calling that constructor, generally how we are going to call a member functions? Object dot member function. We are writing in the main function. Object dot that member function. For example, object dot XYZ function. But we are not using like this because that XYZ is not a just member function. Because its name is same as class name, means it is a constructor. Therefore, that is executed automatically when we are going to create objects for the class, object for the class. So here I declared one object, therefore this constructor is executed once. So what is the result? We get this statement. This is a class with constructor or with constructor concept, right? So what is the result? After pressing Alt C, Alt R, we are going to get this statement. This is a class with constructor, right? Okay. So this is a first program on constructor concept, right? This is a first program on constructor concept. So after pressing Alt C, 0 error, Alt R, then we get a statement like this. This is a class with constructor, right? Okay. Now let us see another program, that is we are using a constructor in a class. Suppose what happens, we are going to declare instead of one, we are going to declare number of objects, then what happens? That thing we are going to see here, right? So program to demonstrate how a constructor is automatically executed at the time of object creation, right? Means now I am going to write one more program, one more C++ program using constructor concept, that is how a constructor is executed. How a constructor is executed, we are going to declare number of objects. Let us see. See here. So now I am going to write one C++ program using constructor concept. That is, I have to check what happens when we are going to create a number objects for the class using constructor concept, right? So therefore, here also we need two header files, iostream.h, conio.h. Now I am going to create a class called student, right? Now I am using a constructor, therefore I am using public, right? Constructor means same as class name, therefore student open bracket, closed bracket. So constructor name is the same as class name, therefore this this function name is same as class name, therefore this is what? Constructor, right? Okay, see here I am going to write one cout statement, that is constructor called automatically at the time of object creation, right? Cout. Constructor is called automatically when objects are created. Objects are created. Okay, now I am closing this constructor I am closing the class. Means previous program just we created one object, right? Now I am going to declare more than one, that is I am going to declare, last class just I declared object, now I am going to declare objects. Then let us see what happens. So write a main program, void main. So what is the first step? Object declaration, student A comma B, means this is the same as class name, these are the objects, right? What is this? Objects declaration. Objects declaration, right? Next just I am going to write clear, just I am going to write what? Close the class, get, close the class. Then what happens? What result we are going to get? See here, it is very interesting. We created in the previous program, just we created one object, therefore whenever the object is created, once that constructor is executed, once that cout statement of constructor is printed. Now I used two objects for the class student, therefore this class student related constructor is automatically executed when an object is created. Here we declared two objects, therefore this class related, student class related constructor, student constructor is executed twice. That is, whenever cursor comes here, automatically this constructor is executed. That is, this statement is printing constructor is called automatically when an objects are created. And afterwards it comes here. Here two objects is there, right? For A object purpose it is printed once. For B object purpose once again the constructor is executed. Means we get the same sentence twice. We get the same sentence twice. That is, constructor is called automatically when objects are created. This sentence prints. And once again for B object purpose the same sentence is printed once again. So we are not written here /n, therefore the same sentence is printed twice horizontally. Suppose we put here /n, then what type of result we get? This sentence, constructor is called automatically when an objects are created. It prints once, /n is there, cursor comes next line. So when B object is there, then once again goes for execution of constructor called student. the same sentence is printed once again. Constructor is called automatically when an objects are created. So here slash n is there, therefore we get same sentence twice on the output screen, right? So depending on number of objects it executes. Only A is there means it executes only once. 2 objects are there means the sentence is printed twice. ಅದೇ ಥರ 3-4 ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಆ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸು 3-4 ಟೈಮು, ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ 3-4 ಟೈಮ್ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಯೂಶ್ವಲಿ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಮೇನ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತಿದ್ವಿ, ಆವಾಗ ಕರ್ಸರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾವು, ಆದರೂ ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್. ಇದನ್ನೇ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯೋದು, ರೈಟ್? Write these functions, and next program let us see, that is one note is there here, that is usually constructors are used for initializing the class data members. Since the constructors executed every time when an object is created, it can be used to assign initial values to data members of objects. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಓದಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ನ ಓದಿದ್ವಿ. ಏನು? ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ is one of the member function of a class which is executed automatically when an objects are created. And the purpose of constructor ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ವಿ. ಏನು? The purpose of constructor is to initialize values to the data members. ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಏನು ಬರೆಯಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ write a C++ program to demonstrate how a constructor is used to initialize data members of an object. ಹೌದಾ? ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಆ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ನ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ರೈಟ್? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. What is the program? Listen here. Program to demonstrate how a constructor is used to initialize data member of an object, right? Data member of an object. See here. Now I am going to write a C++ program. So see here. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ತೊಳ್ಬೋದು, ನಾನು ನಂಬರ್ ಅಂತ ತೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಏನು? ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್? ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ದಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್. ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ನ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಬರೆಯೋ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸಿ ಹಿಯರ್, ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಂಟ್ ಎ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್, ಡಿಕ್ಲರೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್, ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಗೆ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್, ಸೊ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ನೇಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಆಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನೇಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಂಬರ್, ಓಪನ್ ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್, ಕ್ಲೋಸರ್ ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್, ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್, ಹೌದಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಓಪನ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ಬ್ರಾಕೆಟ್, ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ ಓಕೆ, ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ ಸಿ ಔಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸಿ ಔಟ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಏನು, ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಟು ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಟು ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್, ಹೌದಾ. ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಟು ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಯಾವುದು, ಎ. ಈ ಎಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 100 ಅಂದರೆ ಎಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್, ರೈಟ್. ನಾವು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ದ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್. ನಾವು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ದ constructor and write one function in this class, that is void display function. In this display function, write on cout statement, cout the value of a is a. Close this function and close this class. End of class declaration, right. So this is what, end of display function, right. So this is what, end of constructor, end of ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್, ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರಿತಾ ಇದೀನಲ್ಲ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ, ಕಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಹೌದಾ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಬರಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೆಸಸರಿ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಬರಿಬೇಕು, ಹೌದಾ. ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡೋರಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೌದಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಸಿ ಹಿಯರ್ ನೌ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಐ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ಡ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ and in the constructor I initialize value to that data member and I closed the constructor. In display function, just I am writing one sentence, the value of a is a, means this a contains what, value 100. So that value is assigned in constructor, right. Now I am closing class and I am writing one main function, void main, right. So what is the object declaration, name of the class is number object obj, right. Next, clear screen. Next I am when I am object is declared here, means this sentence is printing whatever the cout statements are there in constructor, that is printing, that is constructor is used to initialize value to data member, that is printed automatically. Now this class contains one display function. To execute this display function, we have to call it, right? We have to call it. This display function is there in public section, right? So how to call this public function? Object dot function name. So therefore obj dot display function, next get close. See here, to call this display function, we are writing object dot display function. To call this constructor, we are not writing object dot constructor name, because constructor is executed automatically when an object is created. So now what is the result? What we are going to get result on output screen means, so program execution starts here in the main function, right? So object declaration is there. So that's why constructor is executed automatically, means in the cout statement, in the screen what we get, what constructor contains one cout statement. This is printing here, right? Enanta print ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, constructor is used to initialize values to data members. ಸ್ಲ್ಯಾಶ್ n ಇದೆ, ಕರ್ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಟು ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್. ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನು. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಈ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಎರೇಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಬೇಡ, ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನೇ, ಸೊ ಡೌಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡಾಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ನ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ? ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಈಸ್, ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಈಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ? ಎ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಎಗೆ ಏನು ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡೀವಿ? ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ 100 ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡೀವಿ. ಎ ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ಎ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ 100, ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಈಸ್ 100 ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಹೌದಾ? ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ constructor is used to initialize values to ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್. ಎ ಅನ್ನೋದೇನು? ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ? ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಅಂದರೆ ಎದ 100 ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಆ 100 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫೈನಲ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್. ಏನು? ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಟು ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಡೇಟಾ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ, ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡಾಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಔಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅದು ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಈಸ್ 100 ಅಂತ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. 100 ಯಾಕೆ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಎ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 100 ಅಂತ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂನ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್. ಸೊ what we discussed in this class? In this class we try to implement a constructor concept in the class, right? So ಇವತ್ತು 3 ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆದರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್.